I'm trapped in my own apartment, a prison of fear. The music stopped, the drilling ceased, but the silence is a living thing. I hear it in the wind, in the creaks of the building, a constant reminder of the milky eyes that watched me leave. Let me tell you why you should never, ever knock on the black door. Because what waits on the other side might just steal your soul. The bass vibrated through the floorboards, a rhythmic thud that pulsed through my skull like a bad migraine. It was 3:14 a.m., a time usually reserved for hushed whispers and the gentle murmur of rain. In my new apartment, it was the soundtrack to an unwelcome mystery. At first, I ignored it. I had survived college dorm parties, construction zones, and the cacophony of city life. This was just another bump in the soundtrack of urban existence. But then came the drilling, a sharp, insisting burst that felt like someone was chipping away at my sanity. Sleep became a foreign land. Each night, the music started, followed by the drilling, a macabre counterpoint to the symphony of sirens and honking horns. I complained to the building manager, a gaunt man with eyes that always seemed to avoid mine. New tenants must be renovating, he muttered. New tenants? The apartment next door had been vacant for months, shrouded in darkness like a blind eye on the building's face. Yet, there it was, pulsating with life at ungodly hours. Finally, driven by a cocktail of sleep deprivation and morbid curiosity, I decided to confront the source. I stood before the unmarked black door, my hand hovering over the worn brass knob. Fear, coiling in my gut, whispered against confrontation. But the thought of another sleepless night, another night of bass-infused nightmares, spurred me on. I knocked, a tentative rap swallowed by the heavy oak. No answer. I called out, "Hello? Anyone there?" Silence. Just a faint whisper of music seeping through the cracks in the door. Frustration flared. I banged on the door, my knuckles throbbing against the unyielding wood. A sudden thump from within, the music stuttering like a hiccup. Then silence. Finally, the latch clacked, the door creaking open, a silver. 4 faces stared back at me, 4 pairs of eyes reflecting the dim hallway light. The air crackled with tension, their expressions a strange mix of annoyance and something darker, something predatory. "Can I help you?" One of them spoke, his voice rough like sandpaper. His eyes, however, were the most unsettling. Milky white orbs, devoid of pupils, staring into my soul like hungry ghosts. I stammered, "It's the music, the late night. I just wanted to ask you to." The man laughed, a harsh, grating sound that sent shivers down my spine. "Music? Drilling? We haven't been doing anything of the sort." The others shifted, their movements synchronized, almost practiced. They took a step forward, the space between us a chasm of unease. My fight or flight instincts screamed, urging me to turn and run. But my feet were rooted to the spot, fear turning my limbs to lead. "Are you sure?" I croaked, my voice barely a whisper. Another man, tall and gaunt, with a jagged scar slicing across his cheek, leaned closer, his breath, fetid and acrid, washed over me like a foul wave. "Absolutely certain," he hissed. "Now, why don't you go back to your little box and leave us to our..." He paused, a cruel smile playing on his lips. "Renovations." I stumbled back, heart hammering against my ribs. They watched me go, their white eyes burning into my back, until I slammed my own door shut, the flimsy barrier offering little comfort. The music stopped, the drilling ceased, but the silence that followed was worse. A pregnant emptiness that felt heavier than the loudest cacophony. Each creak of the building, each sigh of the wind sounded amplified, distorted by the echo of that unsettling encounter. Days turned into weeks, the memory of those white eyes lingering like phantoms in my mind. I slept with headphones on, blasting white noise to drown out the ghosts of the music and the drills. But sometimes, in the dead of night, I swear I hear it again. A faint tremor through the floor, a whispered rhythm that pulls at the edges of my sanity. I haven't been back to the door. I haven't confronted the building manager. The fear, a cold, clammy hand around my throat, keeps me trapped. But I know, with a chilling certainty, that the apartment is anything but empty. Something lurks behind that black door, something with milky eyes and unsettling secrets. And as long as I stay in this building, it will remain there. A silent nightmare, just a wall away, waiting for the next tenant to investigate, the next knock to come. So remember my story, my fellow insomniacs, my nocturnal neighbors. If you hear strange noises, late night music, whispers in the wall, don't investigate. Don't knock. Turn on your white noise, crank up the music, and bury yourself under the thickest blankets. Because sometimes the greatest horrors aren't the ones that scream and shout, but the ones that lurk in the shadows, shrouded in silence, waiting for the unwary to cross their threshold. Subscribe for more. Thanks for listening.